How's it going, guys? It's Owen here, and today we're about with the final episode of Trick and Treat. As you can see, we're at the option where we had the opportunity to kiss the girl or do nothing about it. That being said, let's see what happens when we do nothing about it. Despite how adorable this girl is, there's something about her explanation that doesn't sound right at all. Everything seems too convenient to be true. It is impossible for luck to so suddenly change, to so suddenly have improved. While I think about it, she unexpectedly gets closer to me. And then looks at me with puppy eyes, so adorable they could change anyone, they could charm anyone. Aren't you going to do it? She asked me with innocence. I don't know what to do in this situation. Well, wait, before we do that, we haven't properly introduced ourselves. I said, clearly nervous. I can feel my heart beating anxiously as the girl stares at me. She blinks confused and then smiles sweetly. My name is Lillian. She doesn't look angry in the least. This girl definitely has something special. My name is Axel, I said in a robotic voice. However, it doesn't seem to bother her. I show her a nervous smile. I have to say something else to stop her, but nothing comes to mind. Without any shyness, Lillian gets closer to me. She has no problem in taking the initiative. Her eyes suddenly become naughty. Something in them makes my blood warm. It's a pleasure, Axel. I very much appreciate your help. She brings the lips closer to mine, and then places her arms over my neck to prevent my escape. That gesture alone freezes me in place. I watch her slowly approach me, closer and closer, until I feel her soft lips against mine. At that moment, I felt as if I had been possessed. My desires to take control of my body forced me to kiss her passionately, as if we were lovers, seeing each other after a very long time. I closed my eyes. I don't need to see, I only need to feel the warm love and taste of her lips. However, the sweetness soon dies, being replaced with a stabbing pain, as if someone had stabbed a sword made of ice into my back. Without even thinking, I break the kiss and pull away from her. Well, what did you do? I asked, looking, I don't know what that word is, at the girl. What was going on? I feel so cold, as if someone had stolen half the heat from my body. I also feel heavy as stone. But there was no answer. Before she could talk, suddenly something attacks us. With such power that it destroys part of the cabin, opening a large hole that connects to the outside. I can't even begin to imagine what that was. It was like seeing a wrecking ball doing its job. The blow was strong enough to push away from Lillian. She seemed equally as surprised as me. I immediately get up and look for the culprit. The answer surprised me. You really are an idiot. What are you doing? Ashley said, furious. Suddenly, she takes my hand with superhuman strength. It was vastly superior to what the thin appearance would suggest. She dragged me away from the cabin, as if kidnapping me. I shouldn't do anything to stop her. I couldn't do anything to stop her, sorry. 3:23 AM. In just a few minutes, we got far from the cabin. How quick Ashley can run surprises me. She is definitely not human. She finally lets me free. My hand was red and hurt from how strong her grip was. But fortunately, I feel better from the kiss. My body had recovered its heat and energy. Why the heck did you do that? I asked immediately with anger. Who does this cat think she is to do something like this? I should be the one asking that. Ashley replied, looking me in the eyes with contempt. Because of you, she has already recovered most of her powers. She didn't explain, ending with a face of rejection, diverting her eyes from mine. She was overreacting, maybe. What are you talking about? She only wants to be free from you. I said with annoyance. I simply couldn't believe her. Neither of the two girls in this forest seemed trustworthy. That is misfortunate, considering how beautiful they are. You really are an idiot, Ashley said, looking at me with her red eyes full of contempt. Yes, she wants to be free, to fulfill her revenge. Can't you understand that? The only one I don't understand here is you. My patience had ended long ago. I'm not in the mood for scolding. Stupid human, to be so easily seduced by her. All men are equal, none can think with the right head. Ashley folds her arms and explains with annoyance, while looking at me as if I was a scolded child, a spoilt child. Because of your reckless actions, we are in serious trouble. Ashley sighs frustrated. If you had only believed me, this wouldn't be happening. What are you talking about? She must be freed since she is suffering. I said without hesitation. I cannot forget the sweet words of that girl Lillian. Suddenly Ashley gives me a piercing look, sharp as a knife. Why do you believe her story? She is deceiving you, idiot. That's what she wants you to believe. And how do you know that? I asked, being suspicious. I do not like this girl. She really is too bossy and nagging. You idiot! Did you notice when she was absorbing your vital energy? Ashley said, tearing down in a second over my doubt and resistance, with a look of anger in her eyes. Yes, that's what she's doing, absorbing you, just like she did with the past 5 unfortunate men. She explained while staring at me. The latest victim was 20 years ago. Since that day, I promised that nobody else would get close to her. Hearing that called my attention immediately. And why did you do that? Ashley looked distraught after speaking of the death of that man. I wonder if she felt guilty for it. If she gets her hands on her one more victim, she'll fully recover her powers. And once she activates it, she'll begin her revenge for what your ancestors did to her. Worst of all, is that with the energy you have given her, she is now able to leave this forest and search for a last victim. Is that the truth? Why would she lie? I asked, whatever that word is again. I didn't like the sound of it. If it's true, we could be in big trouble. Not only me, but everyone. Ashley bites her lips with anxiety. Yes, what's worse is I have no energy to deal with her. After saying that, she looks at me in anger. Since a certain group of idiots decided to come here for God knows what. I can't respond to that, I only feel guilty. I could get rid of your friends, but for some reason I couldn't with you. You have a strong magical power than normal. Ashley explains, ending with a sigh of frustration. What did you do to my friends? I asked firmly without even hesitating. Thinking that they could be wounded by thought gave me force, but perhaps I was just overreacting. Don't worry, they are safe. Only I made them leave from the forest. Ashley replied, folding her arms. Then she sighs. By creating the illusions and getting them out left me very weakened. Is that why you were lying on the floor when I met you? I said, recalling the moment she was wounded and unconscious. I couldn't help but feel sorry for her in that moment. Yes, but also didn't help that I had to fight with the innocent princess you saw before. She sat back at me unpleased, but this time for a moment. After saying that we both remained quiet, allowing silence to surround us. It's been a while since I last heard the voice calling me. I think that I ceased being useful to Lillian, as Ashley said. Suddenly, Ashley snaps her fingers. Wait, there is still a chance, she said, full of energy. There was a glimmer of hope in her eyes. Then she sets her sight on me. Hear me well. This is the only way to defeat her. Ashley speaks with her usual arrogance, but I notice a slight blush on her cheeks. What is it? I ask, curious to hear her idea. Do you remember what she asked you to do before to help her regain power? Ashley asked, blushing more. She then coughed a few times to clear her throat. Yes, she told me to kiss her. I replied without even thinking about it. But shortly after, I realised what I'm saying. Wait, do you want me to kiss you too? I asked in uncertainty. I don't know if I should feel lucky or used, to be honest. You idiot! It's not that I want a kiss from you. Ashley roared, then diverts her sights from my eyes, making a snort of rejection. It's just that it's the only way to activate this, to achieve this. Besides, what she did was not kissing you, it was stealing your life energy. Meh. Haha. What she did was stealing my vital energy with a kiss, how ironic. I said sarcastically. The memory was still fresh in my mind. If not for the small detail of the theft of vital energy, it would have been a great kiss. Ashley at that moment seems to shiver. Then she looks at me furious. It seems your brain does not understand the complexity of the issue. Do not plan to steal your vital energy. My intention is to get energy from your feeling of love. After saying that, she looks at me away embarrassed. Did I hear right? Something I hear sounds completely wrong. Wait, what are you trying to say? Ashley coughs twice to clear her throat. If your feelings for me are full of love, I can regain my energy. She said, unbearable to look at me in the eyes. Her face is red as an apple. This has to be a joke. But that's impossible. How can I love for someone I've only just met? I wouldn't say this to anyone else. Please help me, insignificant human. She said with a forced and arrogance. At the same time, she looks at me saying with her eyes that I should be thankful. The way in which she asked me is not very correct, honestly, but she did her best effort to do so. That could be seen in plain sight. However, should I trust her word? She has been causing me so many problems tonight. I was even chased, attacked, and kidnapped by her. Then should I? Okay, this is where we get the other choice we're looking for, but that's quite good, at least we know where to find it now. That being said, she's been able to help us so far, so I don't see why we wouldn't trust her. I can't ignore the petition. I know that she has not been the kindest girl, but however, I think she is telling the truth. Okay, I'm going to help you. But tell me, what should I do? I ask at the same time, I look at her red eyes with determination. Ashley nods a couple of times. She seems pleased with my answer. It's simple, to share your feelings of love towards me. She now responds with more confidence. I can't help but sigh after hearing it. Something here is wrong. I'm sorry, but I cannot do that. Well, we just met each other. I do feel some empathy for you, but it wouldn't be right to call it love. I explain with frustration in my face. She asks too much from me. Ashley then places her hand against her lips, making a pensive gesture. I see. It is a feeling that cannot be achieved within a single day. Of course not, silly cat. How can you never have you never been in love? Well, there's one alternative, but I don't want to use it because it would do you harm. I blink confused after hearing her. What is the alternative? I asked while staring at her face. To suck your vitality, as Lillian did. Ashley explains with a very serious look. She then diverts her gaze, feeling disgust at the simple idea. But I'm not going to do it. If I remove the vital energy you have left, you will die. Certainly I do not want that. Then, If you don't have enough energy to fight, what will you do? This is not looking good. If you don't have those feelings for me, there's not much that can be done, replied Ashley, ending with a sigh of annoyance. Anyway, I'll go and face her, even if I have to give up my life in the fight. She says it with no such simplicity that it seems she cannot care for her own life. Wait, is there really nothing I can do to help you? I interrupted immediately. I could not let her just do that. I could not let her just go like that. I decided to do something, however, small that it may be. How could you help me? The look Ashley gave me, an idiot would saying a word. While we're on the same team, I think that some things simply will never change. I stay silent for a moment, looking down while I think on the solution. Ashley stares at me impatient. I don't feel love towards you, but once I felt it for someone else. I could try and remember those feelings so that you can use them as an energy. Ashley thinks deeply for a moment. I guess it's worth a try, she said, not sounding very convinced. Well, it's certainly better than nothing. After that, the two of us stared at each other's eyes for a couple of seconds without saying a word. Then she suddenly diverts our looks at the same time. Embarrassed, we were acting like kids. Are you ready? Ashley asked almost lovingly. It's easy to notice that she was taking this seriously. I nod. Yes, when do you want me to start? I replied just before closing my eyes and saying with all my heart to revive that image. Suddenly Ashley holds my hand with her eyes closed. I can feel her passionate. I can feel the pre-love her presence near. Messed that bit up completely. That makes me somewhat nervous, but I have to relax. I exhale, letting my concerns go with my breath. Her hand softly caress mine to help me relax. Then I start to remember something that happened many years ago in the past. When I was young, every summer I went to my grandparents' house to visit them. I didn't like it because they had nothing fun there. Only an old TV and dusty books I had no interest in reading. However, whenever I went there, I could see her. A girl with brown long hair who always had a cute dress. When I saw her for the first time, I could feel a strange fascination for her fragile and inexplicable beauty. I watched her at a distance without knowing what this feeling was. I knew that something in her called me. It was more than just beautiful. Her eyes were something with many layers, with many facets. I don't know why to say that, sorry. Her gestures, her expressions, her way of playing, they were all beautiful. Finally, one day, I had the courage to ask her to play together. Without even thinking about it, she told me yes. All afternoon we spent together playing, until inevitably it began to get dark. She was a simple girl, enjoyed playing as anyone else, but still I could not remove my eyes from her. When the day ended, she said goodbye to me with a radiant smile. I had forgotten it, how beautiful it was, how astonished I was feeling after seeing it. After that, I never got to see her again. Last thing I knew, her family moved to another country. I did not know if it was just a predestined love, or just my inexperienced feeling confused with something new. But without a doubt, it was beautiful. I do not want to forget it again. Never again. Then, unexpectedly, I felt Ashley give me a shy kiss on the lips. It was ephemeral, only lasted enough to feel it, so now it was real. But at the same time, that shyness gave it a special beauty. It was a sweet kiss. There are no more words to describe it. I opened my eyes, finding Ashley one step away from me, completely blushing and looking away from me. She is silent, but doesn't look angry in the least. Her red eyes are gentle, although embarrassed. Are you alright? I asked with kindness while I look at her. My heart is calmed quickly after the kiss. I don't show it, however, somehow. I feel liberated, lighter. Ashley turns her head to look at me in the eyes. Yes, thank you, she said with shyness. However, she then breathes deep and magically recovers her proud attitude. I believe that she would be enough to stop her. The plan was a success. I'm really pleased. That's fantastic to hear. Ashley closes her eyes and nods a couple of times. When she is not scolding, I must confess that she's very cute. Anyway, we can't wait any longer. Every second we talk, Lillian must be using it to her plan or advantage. We have to go now and stop her. Ashley explains, acting with complete seriousness. Our little break had ended. Yes, let's go, was my short response, overflowing with determination. There was no more to say. Clearly looking how long this game is, I must have had the wrong ending when I played mine the first time. When I say the first time, I mean episode 2. I forgot to click the button again. Because I thought that was just it. I thought it was a simple short story, but clearly not. The way back to the cabin feels short this time. Before I knew it, it was in front of my eyes. Lillian is outside next to the door. She was waiting for us. Brave knight, I see you finally came, she said with a confident smile. Her attitude is very different from the first time I saw her. Just from looking at her, I'm sure of it, she is not any innocent soul. It's a shame to see you with that woman. I had hopes for you. Axel won't be fooled by you again. Ashley replied, talking in my place. At that moment, I see Lily make a grimace of disgust. But soon she recovers her look of confidence. I wanted Axel to be my companion, since he kindly came to rescue me. But oh well, it's not important. I already got enough energy from him. With that alone, I have surpassed you. Finally, I'll be able to get rid of you, Ashley, said Lillian, pronouncing her name with a mocking tone, while giving us a merciless smile. Her victory was in the palm of her hand. Ashley instantly roars furious. You won't know until you try. First thing I'm going to do is save here before my computer decides to have a meltdown. There we go. Won't know until you try. After saying that, she crosses her arms with pride. Once I beat you, nothing shall stop me from completing my revenge. Why do you want to do that? It's been far too long. People who hurt you are already gone. Not even the memory of the crime committed here exists anymore. It's just a village of innocent people. You're right, but someone has to suffer, responded Lillian without hesitation, not doubting a single moment, leaving me completely cold. After seeing my reaction to her answer, she directed an evil smile right at me, as if her words meant nothing. That makes me angry. And what do you win by doing that? I yelled at the same time. I closed my hands into fists. I simply cannot accept it. It was too much. I just want them all to suffer like I did. If I don't make them suffer, then who will? Who will be the carrier of this fate? Everyone eats at me from inside the parasites, which sicken me and deform me. Lillian pauses. It is unfair that I continue to suffer while they are innocent. Lillian, I forgot her name. Lillian then speaks out at the same time that she hits her chest, showing how much that meant for her. This is more than pain, it is proof of my existence. She pauses and exhales, calming herself. Anyway, enough of speeches. I will end you and then bring my revenge to the townspeople. Now, without saying anything more, the battle between the two began. It was something that my mind could not comprehend. A show of power and magic that deformed reality itself. Ashley repeatedly attacked by firing a strange, translucent power, as if hot air. Just from seeing it, I know it was enough. It was enough to knock down a house, but Lillian doesn't even blink. She calmly moves her hand, creating a barrier that reflects her attack each time. Interestingly, it was Ashley who was most active. She attacked incessantly from many different angles, while Lillian stayed still, reflecting her attacks and fighting back, always with a smile on her face. After seeing that, those attacks would not affect Ashley change's strategy. She transforms herself into an imaginary white beast and charges against Lillian. However, Lillian transforms her body into an unknown dark being and resists her attack. Ashley regains human form, making a glimpse of disgust. Both had wounds after this confrontation, but then before my eyes, I see how they place their hands on their wounds and heal them magically. Apparently the two have the same power. The only thing different was their personalities. There are simple no words to describe it, at least my mind was not able to find them. I only know that during the fight neither of the two seemed to have an advantage over the other. Everything indicated that it was an even fight. On several occasions, I beheld bright and colourful lights, superhuman abilities, multiplication of bodies, teleportation, healing transformations, and many other powers that seemed to come out of the fairy tale. The combat seems to last forever. Every second, every attack and defense were loaded with so much tension and emotion that time has simply disappeared for me. The only thing that captured my attention was seeing the two girls fighting in such a fantastic way. Finally, after no time, both fell. On the ground, bloody, they looked into each other's eyes. The blue eyes beheld the red ones, and vice versa. Both then smile. Ashley proudly, Lillian with irony. It seemed that the two were anticipating that end. You did very well. I didn't expect it, Lillian said with honesty. You doubted of me? Stupid girl. Ashley replied with arrogance, even though her lips were stained with blood. Lillian then shows a smile of malice. You've always been like that. Even a mutual death you consider a victory. You really are an idiot. You should be more selfish. It's strange, but she does not sound angry in the least. You may be right, but all I wanted was to stop you, replied Ashley, proud of herself. There was not a hint of regret in her words. Okay, I accept my defeat. But at least in these few moments of my life, I want to be in the peace with you. Is that okay? Lillian responds with a friendly smile. To be honest, I was going to say the same thing. Ashley ends with an ironic smile. I slightly watch them both as they talk, feeling a strange fascination mixed with an unmistakable feeling of sadness. I just met them this evening, but somehow it pains me to see them as that. Somehow I formed a bond with them. It was then that I see them slowly starting to disappear. Suddenly the two turned their eyes to me, giving me one last smile. Goodbye, noble knight. I confess, I enjoyed kissing you. It wasn't all an act, Lillian said, looking at me with a tenderness that breaks my heart. Thank you, Ashley. I can't help but feel nostalgia. At that moment, I knew this was going to be our last goodbye. Even if I didn't want to admit it, but this was her fate. It is alright for us to end like this. Don't worry, everything will be fine now. Finally, my reason for existence has been fulfilled. I have no regrets. And then, this is our goodbye. Yes. Suddenly she recovers her proud attitude. However, this time was different. She was happy. Really happy. It was a pleasure to meet you, stupid human. Ashley said with an arrogance of always. But Ashley said with arrogance of always. But now instead of anger, it made me feel as if I was about to cry. It was fun to meet you, said the two surprisingly in unison. These were their last words. Damn, that's quite sad. Then they then disappeared, dispersed in the form of particles of light. As if small fireflies were escaping from their bodies, with a beautiful but disappearing green colour. Without thinking, I ran towards them. Even if I couldn't do anything, I wanted to touch them one last time. But the only thing my hands were able to reach out are the particles of light that slip out between my fingers as if they were water. Then I see the light rise higher and higher until it disappears into the night sky. I did it. I'm a hero. I'm the one who finally broke the curse. Now no one else will be trapped by it. But then, why do I have this face that looks as if it wants to cry, but has no tears? Why do I feel so terribly bad? Life is more than just victories or defeats. That night I learned in the best way. 4 AM. I finally get out of the forest, and it was almost morning. Axel! Axel! Suddenly I hear someone calling my name, but it isn't a strange voice. This voice is my friends who were looking for me. Hey! Over here! I shout without hesitation, with a bit of clumsiness because of my confusion. Soon they found me and impatiently run towards me. Where were you? The warrior was killing us. Steve said with a face I couldn't remember having ever seen before. Before answering, I rubbed my forehead. I couldn't find the forest exit. Arthur was about to say something, but before that, I interrupted him. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was just lost. The important thing is that we're all safe. Yes, you were right. I know that they wouldn't believe my story if I told them, so don't bother to do so. And so, as soon as it happened, the night was left behind, being replaced by boring days, almost identical days. But at least I had achieved our goal. I had a night worthy of remembering. Oh, 9 AM, November 15th. Several days have passed since then. Suddenly, I see a cat walk by. Ashley? I asked without even thinking. She turns to look at me confused, but of course she could not be who I spoke of. The cat seemed oddly friendly with humans. She observes me with shyness, but doesn't growl at me. Without much thought, I decided to adopt her. Maybe in hopes Ashley will come back someday. Even if that was an impossible desire. Having this cute cat would make me remember Ashley forever. It might not have been just a night, but it's an experience I would never forget. I hold the cat in my hands. She actually looks happy for us having a new owner. Seeing her like that makes me smile. Without a doubt, you'll be a good company. Now we've got the Ashley ending. So I believe that could be one of the true endings, I believe. If not, it's quite a long ending if it wasn't. Yeah, it's definitely the true ending. We've never got this before. So this whole time I was playing this game incorrectly. I don't know if there's any way to skip this or not, so I'm gonna let it play out. And I'll see you guys when we get the very last ending that we have to get. Before I head back there, just need to make sure that what ending that was. That was ending 6, actually the end of the curse. I believe the next one is actually where you have to kiss Ashley. Or not, so I'll see you guys when we get back there. Alright guys, as you can see we're finally back to the choice we had to make earlier, where you have to actually kiss her or actually ignore her. I don't believe this choice is going to be that much longer than the other one. I don't think so anyway, hopefully not, but we'll see when we get in. I'm sorry, I can't believe in what you say, I said suddenly with a voice more serious than before. It's no joke, I feel bad for saying it, but it's how I really feel. You attacked me and my friends, why would I help you? The face Ashley makes says it all. She simply cannot believe it. But... She murmured with disbelief, reflecting on her red eyes. She seemed hurt, but there was no turning back. I'm sorry, but this is my decision, I said, putting an end to the conversation. Goodbye. I then started to walk away, back to the cabin. Okay, go. Just go back to her. Ashley suddenly said furious, but truth is I can't blame her. I hope you don't regret it later. Not saying more, I distanced myself from her, one step at a time. Before losing sight of her, I take a look back. She is on her knees facing towards the ground. I feel sorry for her, but I've already made my decision. I wonder how Lillian is doing. I hope she is well, since we were attacked by Ashley for no reason. Know that I felt something when I kissed her. But perhaps there was more behind it than I had heard from Ashley. I should go back to talk to her. 3:35 AM. Finally, I'm here. Again, the image of the old cabin stands in front of my eyes. I sighed down for a second. I have to be strong. Arming myself with courage, I go towards the cabin and prepare to knock on the door. But just at that moment, someone or something stops me. Axel! Before I knew it, Lillian opens the door and gives me a warm hug, expecting to see me back. It seems that she heard my footsteps as I approached. Or perhaps she has some more power of observation. Either way, doesn't matter. She is here and seems happy to see me. Brave knight, you're back safe and sound. Lillian said while looking in my eyes, with tenderness and giving me a sweet smile. Seems impossible. She could do something as evil as Ashley said. Yes, it seems so. I murmured without much emotion. I was more than confused. No matter what I did, something always seemed to be wrong. Don't worry about me. I'm much more better now thanks to the help you gave me. Lillian ends with a sweet smile. However, I should reward you for coming back to my side. The last thing she said has caused my attention instantly. Reward me? I repeated inquisitively. What kind of reward can she be talking about? Of course, since you managed to escape the claws from that horrible Ashley, and you've shown loyalty to me. This is why you will have this reward. Will have your reward. After saying that, Lillian's eyes turned naughty. She looks into my eyes with a playful smile. Suddenly she approaches her face close to mine. I could smell a feminine scent. Before there wasn't any since she had yet to truly materialize. Close your eyes and you'll receive your reward. Lillian says those words very gently. There's something charming in her voice. I cannot resist her. Before I knew it, I closed my eyes as she asked. At that moment, her lip and mine can come together again. Only this time it's much more intense. I can feel her heat and softness in more detail. Our kiss is much more passionate than the one before. Without any shame, we kissed overflowing with lust and desire. Suddenly I feel my strength leave my body. She holds me tight, so I do not fall down as if I were a toy. After kissing me from the bottom of her heart, I am left without any energy. My skin is pale, my body feels cold, heavy as it made of leaf. Lead. Don't worry, I won't take your life, Lillian said, full of pride. Besides, I have more energy to accomplish my revenge. Suddenly she smiles. It is a malicious smile that I never would have wanted to see. Wait, did you say revenge? My mind barely works now. Everything looks fuzzy. Everything is so confusing. I don't even seem to mind hearing that or even imagine how cruel it could be. Definitely there was something broken in me. You've shown loyalty to me, so you'll be my partner in this eternity. That kiss was our contract. You shall be my servant, and you will obey me and please me in everything that I need. After saying that, Lillian suddenly begins to laugh, an eerie laugh filled with joy. Yes, my lady, was all I could say without showing any rejection, without any resistance. My body and my mind had ceased to be under my control. It's my first slave. How pleasing. I never thought that I would find the human to be so stupid that I have the same time noble as you. I think I was lucky. Lillian's look at the time reflects a seductive malice. They are cruel blue eyes that love to be like that. But there was a problem. A slave without power is not useful. She pauses and snaps her fingers. I know. I'll share some of my power with you. Count yourself lucky. After saying that, she laughs playfully. Then she sets her gaze on me. I suddenly feel that my strength is returning to normal. She then lets me go on my own. She then lets go of me. I have no problem standing on my own. But as soon as I realized that I was wrong, I felt even stronger than before. Great. Just one more thing left to do. Lillian said as she looks at me with a mischievous smile. Surely you wasn't thinking anything good. But before she could say more, something interrupts her. Ashley appeared in front of the two. Thankfully you still live. Come with me, we still can beat her. Ashley shouted, sounding almost desperate. I hear it, but even if I want to do it, my body does not respond. I am completely still, as if for a statue. You idiot! What are you waiting for? Flee! Ashley said, seeing my lack of reaction, sounding even more desperate. Here the only idiot is you. Don't you realize? It was not necessary to kill him to carry out my plan. Lillian responded, overflowing with pride and confidence. The look in her blue eyes said it all. She already had the victory in her hands. Ashley freezes for a second from the impression. She was stunned. Wait, what are you trying to say? She asked, full of disbelief that was visible in plain sight. Lillian smiles. Simple. He gave me all of his energy as a reward. I allowed him to be my slave. You lie, lie, lie! Ashley doesn't take the news well. She screams furiously while looking at with hatred at Lillian. The entity of the two must be something deeper than what I had imagined. No, it is the truth. It was a simple response of Lillian, displaying a confident smile that was almost insulting to see. Ashley bites her lower lip with anguish. Her eyes at the time become sharp. I didn't expect to have to use this method, but there's no other option. Suddenly Ashley's nails grow long and sharp as knives. She points to her own jugular. I don't know what it is. Stop her! Ordered Liam without hesitation. At that moment I feel my body disintegrating. Before I knew it, I was right next to Ashley. In less than a blink of an eye, I had changed positions. By pure instinct, I grabbed her arms and stopped Ashley. No, let me go of me, you giant idiot! I have to do this, or don't know what will happen. She tries to escape, but now I have more strength, superhuman strength. I will not allow you to do that. Lillian sent in with a short laugh. Then she smiles full of confidence, partially hiding her lips behind one hand with her elegance. Let me go, let me go, let me go! Ashley repeats the same thing over and over, but little by little she becomes quieter and accepting her defeat. She then lowers her head in silence. It appears something was stealing her power. It's my fault that something is no other than me. You be my main guest, Ashley, of how I carry out my revenge. You don't have to worry about those idiot humans. Besides, deep down you wanted it too. Ashley silently accepts her fate. It breaks my heart to see her like that. But no matter how hard I try, my body doesn't listen to me, or even a single muscle. Tonight I will feel the reason of my existence. Ha 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 ha! How beautiful! After so long waiting for this day, finally they would now know my revenge. Finally! Leanne looks very different from when I first saw her. She now can't stop laughing with... I don't know. Every single one of her laughs leaves a scar in my heart. Now I understand my mistake, now it's too late. My body has become my slave. I am now a puppet. I am now just a puppet, waiting for my lady to pull my strings. That night, I was a witness to the most heinous acts someone could commit. Murderous, torture, screams, blood, tears. I saw all of this, more than once each. Family, friends, and neighbours were murdered, and I couldn't do a thing about it. No, that wasn't right. My own hands were the ones who took their lives. I still remember their faces in agony, silently begging me to stop. But no matter how much I wanted to, my will was controlled by someone else. I'm just a puppet now, waiting for my mistress to pull my strings. An eternal life, filled with misery, is all that waits for me now. In my desire, I managed to break the control of Lillian, but just for long enough to make a single move. Surrounded by death and fire, I shout a loud and heartbreaking scream to the sky. My voice echoes all over, carrying a message of pain for which there was no words. Is that everything? No, not just yet. My revenge in this town is fulfilled. However, this is not the end. This is just the beginning. Lillian pauses. She beholds the destruction of the town with satisfaction, and then turns to look at me with a smile. We are leaving. Yes, my princess. You are so cute. Seeing her smile makes my heart pound. Although I'm just a puppet now, and so I still keep a fragment of my conscience, but it's already corrupted. Her revenge and smile inspire love instead of hatred. Because my life and words are not only Lillian's now. We'll always be together for all eternity. Of course. I'll always protect you, help you, and love you for all eternity. I'll do everything so that my lady, my princess, can be happy. I couldn't accept any less from you, my loyal servant. You truly are my knight in silver armor. It's been over 1 week now since the discovery of the total slaughter in the small town. Police still have no clues about what happened here. The evidence is scattered everywhere, explained the Chief of Police, William Liam. Or Lime. As if we were trying to find a needle in the haystack. An explanation for why everyone suddenly decided to kill their neighbours. And commit suicide later. But sadly, there isn't one. In this case, the needle does not exist. So far, everything seems to point to that it was pagan ritual. This town years ago was related to witches and other supernatural legends. But there's no doubt these deaths were the results of nothing more but human actions. Anyway, we will continue with this investigation. The chief sounded confused, but in reality, all the country is. Literally in a single night, all the inhabitants of Ibigan died. By the hand of their own neighbours. There were not just murders. Many were tortured too. According to the investigations, more than 1,000 people were burned alive in this incident. Jesus. And we got the Lillian ending. That being said though guys, we actually have now all the endings in our possession, which means this game is officially finished. Hope you actually enjoyed watching this Let's Play. If you want to see more of this, do let me know in the comments below as what I actually can get on Steam to actually play for you guys. That being said, I'm going to see you in the next video. Goodbye, take care, and thank you all so much for watching. Guys, looking back on the endings here, I realised there's actually one more we have to get for some reason. I don't know how to actually get that, to be honest. So I'm going to be making one more episode of this, so as this one's getting quite long now, and hopefully we can actually get through it. That being said, I'll see you in the next video.